Hello, everyone. This screencast is designed to walk you through the steps of completing the Introduction to Social Science final. If you go from classroom to classwork, you'll see it's the most recent post, Introduction to Social Science final. You're going to open up a slideshow. In the slideshow, it's going to ask you to do a few things. The first slide is you have to define these two terms, unity and diversity. What do we mean by unity? What do we mean by diversity? And then provide an example of issues that are characterized by unity and diversity in the United States. And we've gone over some of those in class. The next is rights, duties, and responsibilities. This was the second indicator we worked on in the citizenship unit. And you're going to do the same thing. Define what we mean by what is a right and what is a duty and what is a responsibility among U.S. citizens, and then provide an example of a U.S. citizen right, an example of a citizen duty, and an example of a citizen responsibility. The next are multiple choice questions. You were asked, or students asked that a few multiple choice questions be put into the final, so I accommodated you. And I'm going to suggest that you just, whatever you think the correct answer is that you indicate it in some fashion. If you put like a capital X next to it, that will let me know that you think that that is the correct answer. So I'm just modeling that. I'm certainly not saying that is the correct answer, but that's what I want you to do. So you have, excuse me, 2 slides that have multiple choice questions on them. The next is thinking about what are the 2 purposes of government, or list 2 of the purposes of government. There are more than 2. And again, there was a Quizlet that I created to help you prepare for taking this final, and that the lists of purposes of government will be there when you're studying. Next, we're going to talk about the evolution of democratic ideals and democratic institutions, and one of those would be voting rights. Name 2 ways that voting rights have changed since the United States became a country. That should be pretty easy. Just be thinking about the various populations that earned voting rights over time. According to the Constitution, they should have had those voting rights to begin with, but over time they were allowed to have those voting rights when the country was formed, they were not. And the last slide is on personal finance. I want you to list 3 things that people do with money, 3 ways that people can become smarter consumers and save money, and 3 positive and negative impacts. And I say here, please make note of this direction to include at least 1 positive and 1 negative. So please don't just list all the negatives or all the positives. You want to mix it up. So that is it. I would have included some things for Maine Native Studies or Maine Native Americans, but I chose not to because we just finished up that unit and we just took a summative on it, so there was no reason to add that. So that's it. Please email me if you have any questions, and good luck.